Hello and welcome to Desert Rat Fiber Arts. I'm Desert Rat, but you can call me Lloyd. Today I'm going to attempt to teach you how to make something, simple little project that I've been doing. I say attempt because I have to set up this table to work on, and the only place I can fit it in well is in my living room, and my cats have decided that the table belongs to them. So don't be surprised if you get an appearance of a cat or a tail or something showing up during the course of this video. My cat Maxine is sitting right here being crotchety as ever, and going to give her opinion on everything that we do. So today I thought, let's do something to use up some of the scrap yarn that we have laying around from different projects. So I mean, if you're like me, you've got, like I've got a tub here that's full of scrap yarn there, and I've got these two huge plastic tubs that are just filled with different types of scrap yarn from different projects or yarn that I've inherited, that needs something to do with it. So I've seen other people do this, so it's nothing new, nothing unique. It's not an original pattern or anything like that. But I thought today, let's just go through and let's make some baskets. So these are baskets that I make out of scrap yarn. This one's mostly red because I had quite a bit of it, and this kind of gray and purplish colors to make these baskets that you can use. You can make them any size you want to. They can have handles on them if you want. I usually make them about this, which is like 60 stitches around on the inside, and then just however tall. I think it's like 15 rows or so before I put a handle on, but you don't have to put a handle on. Also, if you don't want it as floppy, you could probably do this out of cotton, and which would be a little bit of a firmer yarn to work with, so it'd probably stand up a little bit better than this acrylic does. But you can use whatever you have, acrylic, wool, cotton, whatever you have in your stash, to make these very simple baskets that you can use for various things. You can make them in any size you want. I got a smaller one that my partner puts pill bottles in. And then these, like I got one of these, it's filled with cat toys. So they are useful for different things, and they're great to give away to other people who might want them. So to get started, you're going to need 3 strands of yarn. And you're going to be using a size P or a 10 millimeter crochet hook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through one of these here, and I'm going to pull out 3 different types of yarn. So I got this one here. I don't know where that came from. Let's do something light to go with it. There's some cotton, which might help with this a little bit. And then I've got this stuff here. Probably got a bunch of that. Some of this yarn that I inherited. This lady loved. There goes the cat. This is Maxine. She loved those particular colors, and then she's claiming it as her own now. So I'm telling you, this is going to be Desert Rat Challenge or Desert Rat Attempts. Anyways, you want something that's going to kind of look nice together. You probably wouldn't want to use this stuff. This is that scrubby yarn. That's useless. There's some other stuff in here. You probably and this is all roughly worsted weight or a size 4. This is like a thicker yarn. Your bulky or super bulkies probably wouldn't work as well. You want to try to keep everything about the same diameter when you're holding 3 strands together. So if you did use the bulky, maybe a couple of strands of fingering weight or sock yarn to go with it, just to try to keep it down. So like I could combine it with this stuff here, which is a very thin. This is like a size 1, but it's really, really super thin. and that would work well together. So let's get started. I'm going to start with holding 3 strands together. And you might hear other things in the background. I have a parakeet who likes to talk all day long, and a couple of guinea pigs that think they're starving all the time. I'm going to start off with a magic circle. Now you can do the chain and then do it that way. I prefer doing a magic circle because I like to cinch up the center. So magic circle, make an X in your hand. So lay the yarn across 3 fingers, come around and over top. So now you've got an X. Take your crochet hook and you come under this front strand and grab these and pull them through. And then grab this and chain. Now it might take you a little bit to get used to doing more than 1 strand of yarn. And now it's Seamus's turn to get up here on the table. And they're tearing at my mat here. Alright, so now I got frustrated because of the cat. We do this again. Pull that through. Get this. I'm telling you, it's usually easier. Well, you got to do it on camera. Okay. Pull it through. Pull this over. And then pull it through there. So now you got, should have 3 loops. What am I missing? The white, which is there. It could get pulled through, it just didn't stay on the hook. There we go. So we're going to pull our tails out like this. So now we got a ring. And we're going to put 6 single crochets into the ring. You don't want it too tight. You don't want it too loose. And you don't want to grab the tails like I just did there. Once you get past this first ring, it's a little bit easier. So... one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, then you're going to take the ends of the yarn, here, your tails, and you're going to cinch this up. Just like that. Not super tight, we can tighten it up a little bit more. So, that's our first round on this. So I've got a small piece of this yarn here that I'm going to use as a stitch marker for this. I just find this easier than actual stitch markers for this particular project. So I'm just going to kind of hold it here. Now into the top of each of these single crochets, you're going to put 2 single crochets. So your first round is 6. Your second round will have a total of 12 stitches. So this first one's kind of a little bit hard. It's like right here. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's right here. Getting the first one started is going to be the tough part. Get it through there. Okay. Good. 1, and then through it again for 2. And I probably did not go through there, no, I did not. Here I am telling you how easy this is, and try this again. There we go. Yeah, just don't pull your loop so tight in the beginning, and maybe it'll be a little bit easier on you. All right. So 1, and 2. Okay, so into each of the next 5, we're going to put 2 more stitches. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's up a little more yarn here. 8. 9, 10. Last one, 11. And 12. Okay, so that's our second row is complete. Pull your stitch marker out and move it up. So if you've ever done amigurumi, you know how to increase a circle. And that is essentially, you're going to do a increase in the first stitch. So we're going to put 2 single crochets into this first stitch here. 1, 2, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next stitch. 1. And we're going to do that all the way around, which will give you a total of 18 stitches. So, once again, 1, 2, and Maxine's here to help again. Her definition of help isn't very good. So 1, 2, and 1. Get some more yarn here. One, 2, and 1. Next one, 1, 2, and 1. One, 2, and 1. 2 stitches left. 1, 2, and 1. So there's our third round complete. So we now have a total of 18 stitches in our circle. So let's move our stitch marker up again. And our next row, we're going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And we're going to repeat that all the way around, which will add 6 stitches to our row for a total of 24. So, once again, 1, 2, and then 1, sometimes it can be tricky, and 1. Next one, 1, 2, and then 1 and 1. 1, 2, 1, 1, one, 2, 1, 1. One, 2, 1, 1, and our last 3 stitches here. So 1, 2, and 1 and 1, and we're back at the beginning. Okay, so that's our 4th row done, and I'm going to just take and I'm going to cinch up this a little bit tighter and then just weave it in later on. So you're going to keep doing that around for as many rows as you want. Just kind of keep track of how many stitches you're going to have. Like, for example, on this basket, I kept going around and around until I had an increase of 2 and then 8 stitches in between, which give me a total of 10 in each one. So that gave me my 60 going all the way around. You kind of want to know how much you're going around, because if you're going to add handles to the basket as well, you're going to kind of need to know how to space them out. These I did at 10 stitches apart, so I've got 20 here, 20 here, and then 10 for each of them, for a total of 60 stitches going around for this particular basket. If you want to do something smaller, that's fine. If you're not going to do handles, don't worry about it. But let's keep going. So our next round is going to be same thing. We're going to increase, and then we're going to do 3 singles, the next 3 singles. So here we go. So 1, if I can get it through there, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1, or 1, 2, 3. And we're almost at the end of this ball of yarn, and I'll show you here in a moment how we're going to keep going with that. So increase 1, 2, and then 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Almost at the end there, so just keep going a little bit longer. All right, make sure you grab all 3. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're close enough to the end here. So I've got another ball of yarn here. I'm just going to use kind of the same colorway here. I just kind of want to use this stuff up. So take your two ends and you're going to hold them together like this. And then you're just going to tie a knot in it. And don't worry about the tail. So you're going to have a big knot in the middle of it with these tails. We're just going to crochet over top of them. So let's keep going. So we have 1, 2, and then our 1, 2, and 3. Trying to keep my tails out of the way here. And 1, we're at our knot, so it's just kind of going to fall in there. 2, so we're on our second ball here. Now you're going to take the ends here and you're just going to hold them here, and you're just going to crochet over top of them to hide them. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we got our next increase, 1, 2. And if you're kind of at the end and you just got the little nubs of the tail, let me finish this and then we'll trim them off. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, and that's the end of this round here. So excuse the squeak. All right, so I've got a pair of scissors here, and I'm just going to, like the very ends of it, we can trim that off. Throw that away. Same on the other side. And there you go. And so whenever you reach the end of a ball, just attach another one like that, just something similar or whatever. If you want to do a different color change in the middle of it, that's fine. Each of these are going to be unique. So there will be no two baskets alike unless you're using a full skein of each color and you don't want to use scrap yarn. You want to use full balls of yarn to go all the way from beginning to end that way, which is perfectly fine. This is just a nice way to use up scrap yarn. So I'm going to continue going around. So this next round will be the same thing. We're going to move our stitch counter up. Kind of get it in place so I don't drop it. And then this time through, it's going to be 1 increase and 4 single crochets. And that should leave me with, so that's 3 and 2, so that should put us at 30. So we're kind of halfway there. I'm going to do up to 60. I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead until we get to that point. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how to start on the sides. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so 2 plus 8, that gives us 10, so it's a total of 60 stitches going all the way around. So now we're going to want to start working on the sides. And I'm almost out of my rainbow yarn. I've got a little bit of different type of rainbow yarn we're going to tie in there. I've got more of this stuff here, so we're going to keep going with that, and lots of this cotton. So our colorway is going to kind of look the same all the way through, which is fine. But if you swap out different types of yarn, you're going to have wonderful looking things that are going to be different for each and every basket that you make. So let's start here. I'm going to pull my stitch marker and I'm going to pull it up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to no longer do any increases. We are just going to do single crochets from here on out. But this first round is we're actually going to do it in the back loop only. And that just kind of gives us this ridge here along the bottom of the basket, so our sides will come up and it won't like curl under like this. You'll have this nice ridge along the side for that. So hold my stitch marker in place, and we're just going to come around to the back loop only, and we're going to single crochet in each and every one all the way around. That. Cat's about ready to jump on the table again, so the camera might shake. There she goes. So let me go ahead and single crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you back here when we get to our beginning stitch marker. Okay, so we've gone all the way around through the back loop, and so we're going to continue, just keep going around, but now we're going to go through both loops. Let me try not to drop my stitches here. Get my yarn stitch marker here as my cat attempts to help me with this again. And we're going to just single crochet all the way around. Now you're going to go around as many times as you want to. You don't need to slip stitch in the top and then chain up one or anything. You're just going to continuously crochet around and round and round in circles, each time moving your stitch marker up until you get it to the heights that you want for your basket. In my case, I'm probably going to do about 15 rounds total before I do handles. Now again, handles are optional, so you can add them if you want or skip them, and I'll show you how to finish it off at that point. Just skip past the handle part of the video, and then how to finish up the top of it. Pretty easy. So as you can see, as we go around, we're going to build up our sides like this. Now if you wanted to, you could make it like a rib type of side if you just single crochet in the back loop, and that leaves that kind of like a ridge, and that would go a spiral around. So however you want to do it, I would just go through two just to keep it a nice clean single crochet all the way around my basket. So let me go ahead and work on this. I will catch up to you once we get to the height that we want for this particular basket. Okay, we've made it around at least 15 rows here, and she doesn't approve of the crochet hook, but we're going to try to finish this up anyways. So if you want to finish this off at this point, all you would do is you're just going to slip stitch into this last stitch like this, cut your yarn, and then you're going to do a seamless join here. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do one round so that we can do our handles for this, and then I'll show you how to finish that up at this point. So we're going to since I've got 60, what I want to do is I'm going to count over 10, and then I'm going to do chain 10, skip 10, and then do 20, chain 10, skip 10, and then finish the last 10. So let's just go ahead and get started here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to chain 10 loosely. Get some yarn pulled out here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I want to count down here and skip 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to single crochet into the 11th stitch here. And that counts as 1. And then we're going to do 20 total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And of course now I've got a neighbor with a leaf blower going. The challenges of making videos. Okay, so now we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to skip 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go into the 11th. And then that's going to count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're back at the beginning. So we had, our count was correct, we had 60 stitches. Now we're going to go around again. We will stitch marker up. We're going to single crochet in every stitch around, and then we can either single crochet over top of these chains here, or we can single crochet into them. Up to you, however you want to do it. So let's start off again. So we got our 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I sometimes have a hard time going into the chains. Let's see if we can do it here. So, especially when you got like 3 strands. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we go. All right, so we're going to single crochet into the next 20 until we get to our next chain, and then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to single crochet into each of those chain spaces, and then 10 more single crochets after that to get back to the beginning, and I'll meet up with you there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're back at the beginning. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut off a good few inches of this. Put aside our leftover yarn here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to slip stitch into this next one here. Like that. Pull it through. We've got our darning needle here. Our yarn needle. Fairly big one. So I want to kind of pull all 3 strands through. So make sure you get one that's got a big opening. And then you're just going to come through underneath both stitches here, pull this through, and then come back through here like that. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and that gives us our seamless finish. So if you don't want to do the handles, just skip the handle part and do your seamless finish at the top, and then you're just going to weave in your ends. So remember, you got to weave in here and also at the beginning of our basket here. So let me do that and I'll be right back with you. Okay, for the center of the basket, I just kind of want to go around our center loop here just to kind of tighten it up a bit. So let me just kind of tuck that in like this. Let me see if I can get this out of the way so you can see a little easier. Like that. Just kind of go around our center opening, just kind of tie it a little bit tighter closed. If you're doing like chain 4 and then join and then single crochet into your loop that way, this would be a good way of help tightening up that center hole as well. So it looks more along the lines of your magic circle instead if you choose to do it that way. So just go around a few times and then come out and over, and you just want to make sure that this is tied off pretty good. So there we go. A Tisket, a Tasket, a scrap yarn basket. Cat approved. Well, maybe. I don't know. She's kind of grouchy. See, it's fairly big on the inside, so there's plenty of room to store extra balls of yarn, or whatever you want to put in there. Make them smaller if you want to put. You can put a pot inside there for like house plants and make a nice decorative outside. Again, if you don't want to use scrap yarn, if you want to make it specific colors, just get 3 different skeins of yarn and use it throughout, and that way your coloration will be consistent throughout. But at least this way, I used up all this rainbow yarn I started out with. I also used up all that blue and brown that I was working with, and I still have some cotton, the cotton left over. That went through the entire project. But I used up the rainbow, that blue and brown, and then I used the different rainbow that was up in this area here. Used that up, and then I switched over to this stuff to finish that up here. I had some light blue that I worked in there, and then switched over to this peach color. So I used up quite a bit of my scrap yarn. I still have tons that can make plenty more baskets or other scrap yarn projects in the future. So it's a great way to use up scrap yarn, and it's a pretty basket too, and they make nice gifts. And it took only a couple of hours from start to finish to do this. Now my thumb is sore from this crochet hook, but it was worth it. So until next time, this is Desert Rat. Happy crafting.